What is local motion? It's in one place and it's in a circle. So that's the dialectic, you know? X minus X, Y. Y minus Y, Z. It's always each time go around a circle, from being into non-being, thingness, no thingness, haloch, v'shov, in and out of focus, pure process mode, thing comes together into a butterfly, no, now I'm the Zen monk, now I'm a butterfly, back and forth, no things. That dialectic that's always unfolding as a hybrid system where the two sides are always coexisting together. That's motion. That is the motion that Aristotle was quite aware of, even 2,500 years ago. Wait, 2,500 years ago, 2,500 years ago. And that's the burning bush. So maybe it's even older than Aristotle. So who got it first, the Jews or the Greeks? Who knows? It doesn't matter. We have the symbols in every tradition. So anyway, this dream, that motion is what affects, can make, if I'm the concert hall, and I can sense that in me, I am part of that motion, then I'm moved. Whereas before, when I just looked at this concert going on here, it was distant. It was very distant. I didn't feel it was moving. It was happening in there, but somehow very distant. But now, when having gone through a few stages of the dialectic here, I could, even the concert hall feels part of this action here. Now the guy that's running the show, the musician with his two sticks, it's not the sticks that are important. That just shows to show that the important thing is not the sticks. The important thing is the motion, the intricacy, the precision. What does that saying goes? The wheels of God grind exceedingly slow, but they grind exceeding small. That motion of reality and life unfolding. And how slow is it? How small is it? Well, we just did 70 minutes. We still have 198 minutes and 17 seconds. If we want to go on with a little more slow motion, God's grinding away here. But even in 70 minutes, we slowed it down. We slowed down the clock. We saw how God grinds exceedingly slow and exceedingly small with the intricate details. The smallness, we can zoom in on the smallness here and those micro moments by doing the awareness continuum. Every moment, and just staying with the moments, staying on the roller coaster. We slow it, we zoom, it's a zoom shot we do. The tool is available to zoom, and we see we see the motion, we experience the motion. And this guy that's up here running this concert, he's doing the musician, this master musician here, has somehow or other serving that force. He's serving the voice of reality. And if I'm that musician with my two sticks here, my two hands pushing the buttons of my computer, my sticks, then I am the vessel, the Merkava, doing the prophetic function. And if you want to look at it from a Christian point of view, death sense of dying and being reborn every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes here, as I shift from one self to another self and constantly dying and reborn. So there you have the whole Jesus trip. But Jesus is just, one particular way of conceptualizing something that's a lot bigger than Jesus here. Puts Jesus on the same level as the burning bush. Jesus is just another burning bush in the forest. More important is the process. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Ved. Blessed is the naming. Blessed, Baruch, blessed, Shem, the name or the naming, Koved, the Kavod, the kingdom, no, Kavod, the tangibility. Blessed is the naming of the tangibility, in other words, the contact moments here, of the kingdom. All these moments here, they all come together, they coalesce in inductive logic into bigger and bigger envelopes, gestalts, leading up to this holistic idea of God as a somehow or other this encompassing voyage here we're doing here. So that is it. Blessed is this search like we're doing here. The searching, the quest. Coming in and out of reality, of thingness. The bush that's always being consumed, that's always burning, coming to life again. And that's what's important. That surrendering and experiencing and allowing and seizing and enjoying and suffering and this somehow or other, the reality of the situation. Okay, we tackle that sentence. Next sentence in this book. By the way, I'm on page 10 here of this little book version I have. Judging him favorably, you really do elevate him from a position of guilt to one of merit. As a result, he will return to God. Well, we just did that. Just as the monster began to judge Franklin a little more favorably, and Franklin began to judge the monster a little more favorably, those two, that pompous-ass piece of shit, you might say, the opposition there became more balanced. It's less top dog, underdog, less master-slave thing. It became more balanced, and once it became more balanced, then we moved from position of guilt, where one is accusing the other one, and that's the deductive logic, where if I'm good, you have to be bad, and if I'm bad, you have to be good, something like that. We moved over to the scale of merit. Zuchut means seeing the value, seeing the merit. That's the scale of induction, where if I'm good, you could also be good. You don't have to be bad. If I'm here, if I'm a butterfly, you could be, and you're a flower, then you could be a good flower and butterfly. I don't have to judge, the flower doesn't have to judge the butterfly, and the butterfly doesn't have to judge the flower. Once we get out of that deduction trip and get into induction of awareness. So let's go back to the sentence. Judging him favorably, you really do elevate him from a position of guilt, in other words, deduction, to one of merit, induction. As a result, he will return to God. As a result, the two of us, me and the monster, or the flower and the butterfly, move one level further up on the spiral. It's like another quantum leap there, and it's also returning to the oneness, holistic oneness, which some people label God. Other people label it the Buddha. Other people label it divine soul. Whatever you want to label it. The process is universal dialectical thinking. All right. Now that first topic was the good in others. So that was like the monster looking for the good in Franklin, and Franklin the good of the monster. Well, each of these five elements, seeing each other objectively as parts of dialogue rather than just split off fragments of a dream. Originally, it was a dream with five elements. There was a corridor, there was a Franklin, there was a silence, there was a monster, and there was people, other people. But after dream work, they all became part of one interacting community of dialogue, and that was the idea of seeing the good in others. Now, the next topic is seeing the good in ourselves. You must also find this good point within yourself. Now, Gestalt therapy, I didn't do too much of it in that dreamwork session, but we have this process of awareness going into your body, closing your eyes, going into your body, finding the awareness moments, points of yourself. That's one example of finding the good points within yourself, simply being aware of your body awareness. But here, let's see, in this paragraph here, he says, you see that you are full of sin and the evil one wants to push you into depression. So when you first start looking at yourself from a deductive point of view, from an either or, good, evil, holy, non-holy, kosher, not kosher, frum, not frum, when you start looking at reality in terms of those stupid boxes, deductive thinking, then you're blocking off this, what NACHMAN is calling the good points. Yeah, but then when you look at yourself, like I did in that dream work, for example, I looked at Franklin, and first I saw Franklin as an evil monster, and then later on I saw him as partly a spokesman for the word that's symbolized by the monster. So again, that happened, we already talked about that. I elevated Franklin there as an image idea. That's another way of elevating yourself, is to see an image of yourself. All right. How do you like that silence? I said it. Hey, well, yeah. You did that. Yeah. You know, like, yeah, I like that. Well, if I'm like the Word, and you're like the Prophet, then like, first you tried to figure me out with your mind, your rational mind. That didn't work, right? And then you let your feelings and you let your intuition and your associations go wild. Yeah, and you began to hear some answers from me. You got answers, a little bit of answers. But there's still lots of questions that I don't answer for you. But I answered something. I answered something. I answered something. I gave you a little bit of the Word. A little bit of the Word. A little bit of the Word. So you can elevate yourself to different ways. You could identify with some image of yourself that was restricting, for example, seeing myself as a bad guy. By identifying with that, and you work on it a little bit with awareness, then you elevate that image of yourself in one sense. Also, just by contacting your body awareness, your breathing, your muscle tension, stuff like that, you elevate yourself that way. For example, if I contact tension in my shoulders right now, I say, I am tense. So there's me and there's tension, two separate things, and I am deductively judging the tension as bad and me as good. But if I am tensing myself, I take responsibility for that. I am tensing myself, then I am becoming the tensor, and I am part of a relationship with my tension and my body awareness, and right away I've moved myself from a position of being a slave to my tension or whatever, or to the out of being a person, part of a process that's evolving here where I'm dealing with my body awareness and moving me and my body towards the good again, towards good contact, scale of merit.